There you go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Wingman's Hangar, episode 60. Did you catch the new beginning? Good job, Morlan. Good job, Morlan.
Hi, thank you.
If you're new to the show or you don't know what's going on, this is everything about Chris Roberts' epic space adventure Star Citizen. We take an inside look at what goes on a week-to-week basis across all of our studios, from Santa Monica to Austin to England to Montreal to all over Canada, actually, and Mexico. We're spread out, so we got some cool stuff. Stay tuned. You'll get to see. What do we have coming up this week? Well, Moon Collider and the Cathera system. It's an AI system. We're going to get an inside look at how that's going to work in the game. We have a forum feedback with your questions and videos, and an interview with Chief Technical Officer Jason Spangler. What went on this week? Well, we hit 40 million. We got a big thanks to all you folks out there that had it. But be sure to check out that letter from the chairman. Chris, thanks everybody as ever, but also make sure you get your votes in on what you want to see going forward. It's very important that we get your feedback, as we know we're all doing this together. So thanks a lot to all of you. Dogfighting update. What's going on with that? Well, lots of LODs. Damage states created. Well, what's that mean? Well, LODs are kind of like when you get farther and farther away from ships or vehicles or things of that nature. It takes out some of the details, so it allows us to render more objects on screen at once. And damage states we did last week, so you kind of know what that is. Lots of that happening this week. Pedro Camacho is composing the battle music. That's kind of like music will change based on what's going on in your game at a certain time. If you're coming up in a dangerous situation, you'll notice it with the thrilling da-da-da-da-da kind of music kind of thing. Probably not exactly the da-da-da-da thing, but something like that. Much cooler, I'm sure. Martin Galway and team are creating all the sound effects for thrusters and bitching Bettys and pretty much everything in the game. That's going to really enhance the experience. John Erskine and Turbulent Web team is building their leaderboard. That's right, we can't have the dogfighting module out there without knowing who's really good at it. And of course, lots of testing. We are testing the bejeebers out of this game, and soon we'll be opening that up to you guys, and so you'll get to see what we're seeing, and it's kind of fun. Can't wait to see it. Also, David Jennison and Brian Brewer visited Infinite Realities over in Ipswich. Flew into Norwich, England, and went to Ipswich. What this is kind of a capture of body and facial capture system, which allows us to put likenesses in the game. This was a $22 million stretch goal of ours, which you may remember. We're going to get that camera system, hook it all up, and put folks in the game. We're going to put real-looking people in the game. Photorealistic. The way to go. Star Citizen, yay! And it wouldn't be a week at Cloud Imperium without the generosity of some of the fans. What do we got here?
Package from Mark Sheldon.
What? What? A package from Mark Sheldon?
Yeah.
Specifically me? Does it have my name on it?
How's your
Watch
name
out,
on it?
what's in it? Oh my god, it does have my name on it. Tick, 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 tick. Here you go, Eric.
The security opened it.
Alright.
Well, it's already, but she's already kind of, let's just
Shoot.
get in there. Yeah, I think
Let's see what we got here. Alright, peeps.
I'll do the reading. You want to read
What?
it? All right, you can.
My pick!
Alright, go ahead.
Oh, he's getting away from you.
Yeah, hurry up.
Alright. Enclosed, you'll find home-baked molasses cookie made fresh with eggs from our very own free-range chickens. You'll also find a small box for Mark Skelton. We figured anyone who can wear that gold shirt with such pride and deliver hazy thoughts with such perfect haziness would appreciate some homemade fudge.
Wait, that means
Thank you
for everybody.
East India Interstellar Trading. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's see what
guys
you
are
got,
awesome,
man. Check it out.
Yes. Oh my God.
They can get it on their visit.
This better have.
All right, Mark, man. Take a bite and.
Make sure all the crumbs fall back in here.
That was delicious. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody! Thank you. Always good to get fudge and cookies, and those were like what they call them, free range hens or something. That's pretty cool. This week we have episode 1.6 came up last week of The Next Great Starship. Sandi and the crew got to look at a bunch of new cool concepts for ships, and some of them got eliminated, some moved on. Don't forget to get your votes in for those you want to bring back in the competition in the wild card vote. Speaking of Sandi, she was in the UK for customer service training. We hired 2 new people, Alice Coker and Drumud Dun Keeley. Drumud. Man, if I'm butchering your name, my buddy, I am apologizing now because Drumud Dun Keeley. I think that's as best as I can do. Anyway, Sandi was in the UK pulling double duty because she was over there training them, and when she was over there, well, we got her to help us take a look at Moon Collider and the AI system.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Inside Cloud Imperium. For today's show or edition, we're going to take you behind the scenes in what we're doing in AI in Star Citizen. Like everything else in Star Citizen, we're going to try and push the boundaries of what we can do and what's been done before. So we've actually partnered with a new middleware company, and their middleware is called Kythera.
Hi, I'm Sandi Gardiner, and I'm here with Matt, Mike, and Ben. 3 guys from Moon Collider. And these 3, I'm actually sitting with 3 very smart people. All 3 of you are from Cambridge originally.
We originally met at university. We were all studying various different courses there. I was doing physics.
Yeah, I was doing maths, and Matt was doing computer science.
Yeah, I was actually doing programming as part of the course, whereas I think these guys spent most of their time programming instead of doing their course. But
I think the first contact I had with Moon Collider was through Matthew Jack, who's the main founder or principal of it, along with Mike Bell. And he'd reached out to me over email. He'd basically said, I used to work at Crytek, and I was one of the primary AI programmers there and helped develop the Cry AI system. And now I've gone independent. I'm building my own middleware for AI that's going to be sort of the next step, the next generation. I still do consulting for Crytek. I know the engine really well, and I love what you're doing. And is there a way maybe we could talk? Because I'm pretty excited by Star Citizen. I'd love to help out. And I was like, okay, that's great, because anyone that has CryEngine experience is obviously a big plus for us. And someone that actually programmed a large part of the AI system already in CryEngine was obviously someone that we were very interested in.
Kythera is a middleware which runs with multiple engines. We chose CryEngine partly because it's such a fantastic showcase, especially for AI characters.
There's a certain amount of role play initially. We kind of decide how we would want a wingman or a pilot to behave, or a certain race. If we're looking at the Vandal, we think about what's involved in that process. Don't we? We kind of play it out a little bit.
Yeah, and different species, the different attitudes, the different types of pilots, and all that stuff. Yeah.
We kind of get an overarching idea of what makes a Vandal when they're in a ship, when they're flying around. How would they attack you? That kind of thing. Yeah. And what makes a UEE, them kind of more regimented, militaristic type formation kind of thing. That's a big part of it. I think is getting personality across, because 90% of the time you're going to be seeing not a pilot, but you're going to see him in a ship. So the ship, in a sense, becomes his avatar. It's how you see him in the world. So to really get a sense of personality, we need to make the ship have a personality. The ship needs to move in a unique way for each wingman, for each person, for each race.
When a thruster fires on an AI ship, it's actually a thruster firing. It's part of the physical world that the ship is in, and it will affect the way that the ship functions.
This kind of game has so many different aspects. So I think if you're an AI programmer, for instance, it's incredibly fascinating and interesting, because it's solving a lot of problems on a lot of different levels. It's a much more complicated task. It's like doing a dive off the top and a triple corkscrew, whatever, and it's a difficulty of 10, not a difficulty of 3 or 4. And some people like to do that, and luckily I think the Moon Collider folks are those people.
As an astrophysicist, I was working on simulations of the universe, so running large simulations on supercomputers around the world, trying to understand how the structure and how galaxies formed. So I've gone very much from working on one type of virtual universe to a very different kind of virtual universe with Star Citizen.
One of the big things about Kythera is that it's dynamic.
What is dynamic navigation?
So dynamic navigation is a feature for the first-person combat where AIs will react to the world changing.
So if you've got a ship landing in a hangar, then the characters know to route around it instead of walking straight through where the ship now is.
Whenever stuff changes, it's recomputed on the fly. And we try and bring that dynamic approach to everything we do.
We don't want the AI to be too controlled. We want it to react sensibly to the player. So designers can't specify every single thing this AI will do. We just give it, these are your objectives, do them in an intelligent way, and react to the player itself.
We draw these things out, we come up with them so that we can have sort of distinct maneuvers, distinct looks to each of the different species and the different types of pilots, the capabilities and all that stuff, so you really get a sense that all of the different AI across the whole game are real people. They're actual characters piloting ships and walking about and doing all sorts of things, and not just the product of some computer program that's ticking away in the background.
One other key system there is just the avoidance. When dogfighting is basically about shooting at other ships and getting close enough to shoot them, then pretty quickly what you end up with is ships colliding, which is good fun, but...
The avoidance is an interesting feature, and it's one that we hope people don't notice. You notice when it goes wrong, when, as Matt said, ships collide with each other, but it's actually quite complicated to make sure that ships avoid each other all the time. And
we've also got things like moving asteroids and things, other bits of the environment that are moving around, we have to avoid those as well.
Yeah, with Star Citizen, with such a dynamic, large world, you can't hard code all the things you have to avoid, so we needed this system which automatically would work out how a ship should turn to avoid something and make sure collisions don't happen.
We needed a new AI for Star Citizen because it's doing so many things that, say, CryEngine actually doesn't do it. I mean, because CryEngine is specifically a first-person engine for running around first-person combat, and it kind of handles some other cases. But in Star Citizen, we have travel, between planets. We fly around in space. We have dogfighting in space. We need very sophisticated sort of space-based AI, flight AI. But we also need the meta AI, which is kind of what does that NPC do during the day? Is he, he's a pirate. He gets up in the morning, brushes his teeth, goes to work, raiding some innocent traders, and then after he's gotten his ill-gotten gains, he goes and fences them, and then goes to the bar and has some drinks in celebration and goes to bed. And what is that pirate's life goal? What's he trying to do? Is he trying to build a pirate empire, or is he just wants to be a solo operator? And so there's these different levels of AI that go from sort of the basic sort of tactical, okay, how do I get around a corner, or how do I navigate to somewhere, to like, what am I doing today, or what am I doing this week, or what am I doing this year?
They're the guys that have really written the bulk of the system that we're actually using. It's just really been up to us to run with designs, ideas internally, and work with the Kythera guys to actually get the end product into the game.
Star Citizen really has a unique set of challenges, and I think a lot of people might have dreamt of one or two of them, but putting them all together is pretty bold. And I think it's really only because of the backers' funding that's possible. I think with a publisher model, it would be very hard to achieve. But I think with the support of the backers, we can really get there. For us, that's a fantastic opportunity because there are so many different features that we might implement for different games, different genres, and they've really all come together in this one project. So it's very exciting.
All right, I hope everyone enjoyed the look inside what we're doing on the AI in Star Citizen. So we'll catch you next time on Inside Cloud Imperium Games. Goodbye.
Hey, Eric. Yeah, I think it's time for
forum feedback. Feedback. Okay. Well, now it's time for forum feedback. Awesome. Wow. I'm sorry about that.
That was spectacular.
I'm sorry about the name there. I'm not sure.
Very nice. It might be Dermot.
Oh, Dermot.
It might be.
Could be. Yeah. Okay. We'll just move on. Right. Let's get right to it. From Mark Kempt. He says, are there achievements? Yes or no?
Achievements. So I'm not talking about like Xbox 360 achievements,
sure.
right? Where it's just a, ding, you just killed your 20th guy or something.
Right.
The way that Chris looks at achievements is more in the sense of you can do unique things that nobody else does. Like, you could find a jump point and navigate it. You could kill a certain bad guy. that kind of thing.
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
The Dread Pirate Roberts, for instance. Yes, that's an excellent example. And those kind of things would show up in the Galactopedia. It's like, you did this thing, and you were the one who did that. As far as like other types of things you would think of as achievements in other games, there are going to be things you can collect if you travel around the universe. The verse.
The verse? Like fish.
Like fish. Exactly.
Cool. Well, that's a good answer. I appreciate that. From Droptune, you've been testing the dogfighting module across all the studios. Who is the current Top Gun?
Well,
technically, well, we have been testing the dogfighting module at all the studios.
Yes, that's the correct. What's the part of speech I'm looking for?
I don't know. The vernacular, I guess.
Yeah, that's better vernacular. Yeah. I like that word. So yes, we have been testing it at different studios. There is not an official Top Gun yet, although when pressed, Chris did say he is not the best pilot.
Yeah, I knew that. But the truth is, we're not playing across all the studios yet, right?
Not just yet.
We're not completely there yet. I think we've got, and we can ask Jason about this later. But I think there's one big blocker bug that we're trying to get, like with the spawn issue, that's stopping us from testing. But the server is up.
That close.
This close, very close. All right, from Snorky, what are hangar fees, and how will they work?
So basically, for all you people out there who already have your ships, we're going to give you hangar space. We've already said this before. So hangar fees are for when you need additional hangar space. So if you're visiting somewhere where your main hangar is not, for instance.
Oh, you're visiting.
Right. So when you go to land on a planet, then you pay your landing fee, and then you can leave your ship there temporarily.
It's kind of like a docking fee or something.
Exactly. And then you can leave your ship there temporarily, run over to the store and grab the guns you want and leave again. Or if you need to store something on that planet, then you could actually rent a hangar space for more permanently. So you could have hangars all over the place, but you only pay for ones after the first one.
So how's it hangaring? Get it in eventually. Yeah, sorry.
That's
from
awful.
Angelus, it doesn't get any better. From Angelus Rex, damage states in all, one ship is, for instance, in a severe wreck from a battle. The current owner, being an NPC or player, dies and kicks the bucket. Is salvaging that wreckage considered stealing?
No, of course not. I mean, if they've already died and they're pieces of their ship floating in space, free game, fair game.
Fair game.
Free for all.
Cool,
fair game.
Cool.
But don't do any premature salvaging. That's when it's considered stealing.
If the guy's floating around in the EVA suit,
if the guy's still flying around in the ship, that would be considered as stealing.
Right. All right. We've got a video question this week from Pariahs. Take it away. That's cool. Ramming speed, Captain. Ramming speed, buggies. What?
I'm not sure that's what they were trying to accomplish with that video.
Yeah, they clearly.
They're not buggy bums.
Oh.
It's a buggy invasion.
Well, are we going to allow that to happen in the game, though?
Well, of course, since we're not starting out with free roam of planets, then it won't be as exciting to bring your buggy to another planet. But eventually, you'll probably get to drive your vehicles around another planet.
And that was a really cool video.
That was really awesome.
That was really fun, and we had to put that in there. From Scrambled Legs, DirectX 12 is on the horizon. Are there any early thoughts of if CIG will utilize this technology?
Yes. Actually, we are sending several of our programmers out to GDC specifically to go to sessions on that, among other things. And so they're obviously going to be evaluating the tech. We intend to stay up with current graphics technology, so I can't see why we wouldn't. Plus, I mean, we're also supporting Mantle. So.
Right, exactly. We're
both.
With, right, so absolutely, definitely. From Solaris, since the Scythe Scythe model is done. Why don't you suckers add it to the hangar? Why don't we add the Scythe to the hangar?
How many ways did you come up with it?
I don't know. I'm just going all over the place for that thing.
So it's done on the outside, but there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, we need to get HUD in there. We need the animations for opening and getting into the ship. There's still a little bit more to be done on the interior, plus like the lighting and things like that. So when those things are done, you will see the Scythe in your hangar. It's not like we're holding it back on you just because we don't feel like putting it in. It's coming.
We'd like to put things that are a little that you can interact with in there rather than just jumping up and down, right?
Exactly.
From Jazz Arrow, in the movie Titan AE, they use zero-G scooters to get around the wrecks. Will there be something similar that we can carry in our ships and use for salvage and docking, or just plain old joyriding? That is actually really cool.
Zero-G scooters. Scooters, I'm not sure about scooters per se, but you're going to have jets on your spacesuit, so you can jet around out in space just in your suit.
There's such a joke there that I'm leaving
I know,
all alone.
I know, and I was seeing it coming, and I'm glad that you held back. So you're going to actually get to see a preview of that in the dogfighting module.
There might be a cargo sled too.
But yeah, we're also going to eventually do some cargo carrying sleddy things.
Cool. All right, well, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. And now it's time for Ben Lesnick and this week's Most Valuable Post.
Hey everybody, welcome to MVP, Most Valuable Post. I'm Community Manager Ben Lesnick, and I'm here to tell you what the best post at the RSI forums was this week. But first, I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. William Lewis, our newest CIG employee.
Hello.
Why don't you tell us about yourself, William?
My name's Will. I'll be the new lead moderator of the forums. I'll be there basically taking care of any questions, any problems, anything that comes up on the forums. And I'm always open to hear any questions or comments you guys have.
And what is your username so they can PM you all their problems?
That'll be WLewis-CIG.
Awesome. Well, let's move into the MVP. This week we're giving it to Feylan for his great thread, What You May Not Know About CIG Developers. This has interesting facts about everybody on the team, so if you want to know what Chris Roberts was into in the 80s, it's the place to check it out. In fact, William selected this as our MVP this week.
I'm glad to have helped.
So now that you're going to be moderating the forums, responsible for banning everyone, I guess it is time for me to hand over the Ben Hammer.
Thank you very much.
So, great power, great responsibility. But don't you all worry, Sun has me covered. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
This week's Fan Focus is pretty innovative and very current. Take a look at Aurora Crash by Test Squadron. Here we go. Come on, we can do this. Jeez. Is this thing always as frustrating? Son of a... All right, good job, Test Squadron. So if dogfighting is delayed, we'll know who to blame for that issue with that Aurora Crash thing. Well, everybody, look, Jason's here with me to talk about AI and Moon Collider. So, how you doing?
Good.
Good? So you've been working with Moon Collider for about a year now, right?
Yes.
Now, what's so special about what they're doing that's like different than any other kind of AI?
It's very dynamic in that it will adjust to situations that change, such as in the demo videos how you saw where the crates fell and the characters moving actually changed where they were moving and changed where they walked to, use different things for cover.
So it'll give itself a new hierarchy all the time based on what's going on in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. And that's also what's going on in space as well. Like I saw the bit where they'll avoid each other. Like there'll be a collision situation that they'll be able to avoid. And
yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So how has it been working with those guys?
Oh, a lot of fun. I mean, they really know their stuff and they're experts, and we get lots of cool AI features out of it.
So I think the fans are going to really like playing that. Now, I believe dogfighting is going to have some of the AI stuff implemented. Is that correct?
Yes. The current plan is it will have where you can fight AI, but we won't have a mix of AI and multiple players together.
Right, because that's something still to be done over the course of the years of development on this project. I mean, those guys are really, really amazing, though. And so now, have you been over there to visit them, or I know they've come over here?
We've met with at GDC and office visits. I haven't been there yet, but I'm looking forward to a trip to the UK sometime.
Maybe in the summer when it's a little warmer.
That's a good idea.
But no, so you've been working with them a year now, and they've come from Crytek, or they started their own company, and they've got their own technology called Kythera, right?
Kythera, yes.
Kythera, and that's developing that as a middleware product as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting some benefit here because we're helping them develop this, and they're going to be able to use Kythera for other things.
Yeah. So it's like a nice mutually beneficial arrangement.
A symbiotic relationship. But we get it first, and it's nobody else has had it. And so, what other types of AI do we have? We have obviously the flying in the ships AI. What other kind of AI can the people expect from our game?
In the future, they'll see the character-based AI with characters on planet side and such moving around, but then they'll also get to see it in the first-person shooter aspects, like with boarding actions and such, where you have like squad-based AI with and multiple characters in combat and reacting in a realistic manner during the shipboarding.
Cool. Will there be crowd AI or AI planet side and stuff? They'll be handling that kind of stuff too?
Yeah.
That's amazing. 'Cause you don't really realize that there's a lot of artificial intelligence in every game. And the better that is, the more we can make it less like computerized, pattern-oriented, the more realistic or the more fun it is. I mean, everybody's played the original Nintendos, the Marios, where you just got the pattern down. Right? And we always figured out how to do that kind of stuff. In these kind of situations, this is an AI that is changing, and it's going to adapt to how you're playing the game. So it might not be so simple to get through all those puzzles.
Or we even have it where, as like the economy of a planet changes, the characters who you might see on the planet and the different jobs they're doing will change based on the changes to that economy. So then you'll see you might have a different AI or controlling that character because they have a completely different profession, or the economy of the planet is going up or down.
That's very cool. Now, Rob, I see you shaking your head over there. You've been having a lot of thinking about that, right?
Oh, very, very, very much so. That kind of stuff is going to be really cool.
Right. As the economy changes, that makes you want to go back as a player to planets later on, or as things change in the verse, right, to find out what's going on. It kind of keeps the game fresh, because every time you land on a planet, it might not be the same exact thing. And I know Chris is big on that. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to come out. We'll have a taste of it here coming up with the dogfighting module, assuming that we're all not stuck playing the Aurora Crash game. For the next... now I've tried it, and I've only gotten 2, but I did a very short try. Did you try it, Jason? Did you?
Yes, I also didn't. I tried a short try. I got to 3.
22.
22.
Designers.
Oh, fair enough, designers. But Jason, you kicked my butt too. You were a whole 50% farther than me. So I'm going to have to go back and try a little bit of that later. So listen, I want to thank subscribers and pledgers, and obviously Jason and Rob for joining us today. Thanks to Sandi and Chris for that great Moon Collider AI thing out in Glasgow, Manchester. It was actually in both places, so I don't feel too bad about saying that. Coming up at CIG this week, well, we've got the Next Great Starship 1.7 coming up this Friday. Can't wait to see that on the Next Great Starship. I think this is the final one before we start voting for the wild cards, so get your votes in on that. Coming up next week on Wingman's Hangar, full performance capture. We've talked a little bit about it. We shot it. It looks really cool. We're going to talk to you guys about the challenges it takes to do a full performance session and how cool it is for the game itself. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find out exactly what happens. When it happens, you'll get an email. Get on the YouTube channel. Join our crew. Submit your questions on the RSI forum. There's always a forum feedback question and answer session or question session on Wingman's Hangar. Get it in there. Post your question up there, and we might pick it for the show. About 15 minutes after the show, we'll have Wingman's Hangover. So an informal look at what went on, and we'll talk to you guys about what you liked, what you didn't like, maybe take a Skype call here and there and just have some fun. And remember, guys, if you want your stuff featured on Wingman's Hangar, send it in. We just might use it. Where are we going to see them, guys?
In the
verse.
Are Waldo and Carmen Sandiego trained by ninjas?